At this time, outside the central building, Chen Jingguan said to Wu Di and Kong Sheng with a gloomy face, "What's wrong with people from Jiangnan district? What's so great? I used to be in the Navy. Come and fight me if you have the guts. Whoever loses, don't cry and sue me." Chen Jingguan has been holding back his anger for a long time, but this group of investigation teams from the Jiangnan region looked at him as if he were a nobody. Chen Jingguan couldn't stand others looking down on him. Wu Di and Kong Sheng stood on the steps at the door, looking down at the angry Chen Jingguan. The smiles on the two people's faces became even stronger, and they didn't take him seriously at all. Wu Di put his hands in his pockets, smiled, and said to Kong Sheng, "Look, he's still angry." Kong Sheng sneered disdainfully. "What else can useless people do except incompetent and furious?" Wu Di said, "But they have challenged us to a fight. If we don't accept the challenge, doesn't it seem that we are afraid of them?" Kong Sheng nodded. "I don't like being looked down upon by others either. I am fine myself, but I cannot let these people from small places really think that the Jiangnan region is like them, without any foundation." The two people sang in unison, talking and laughing and belittling the various forces in Tianhai City. Not to mention Chen Jingguan, the second in command of the Chaoyu base, who was not taken seriously by them. "You are too arrogant. We are all extraordinary people. It does not mean that you are that strong." Chen Jingguan pointed at the two of them with his right hand and scolded. Kong Sheng narrowed his eyes and slowly walked down the stairs. "Well, I will show you the strength of the extraordinary people in the Jiangnan region. And what is the strength of the extraordinary people in small places like you?" Seeing that the battle was about to begin, the people from various major forces gathered around and stared at the two people on the field. They all wanted to see how powerful these people from the Jiangnan region were. Chen Jingguan saw Kong Sheng walking towards him and laughed in his heart. The reason why he chose to provoke Kong Sheng was because he had judged from Kong Sheng's actions that he was a user of the enhancement system. The enhancement system is the most common and the simplest of the 6 systems of superpowers. All superpowers are mutations based on physical abilities, so they are extremely powerful in close combat. Chen Jingguan's ability is the special system of rubber. Unless the attack exceeds his defense threshold, all physical forms of attack are ineffective against him. And this threshold strength may require direct artillery fire to achieve. However, Kong Sheng and Chen Jingguan knew what they were doing. This battle could not hurt the other party's life. Otherwise, it would lead to tension between the two forces, which would be detrimental to the cooperation between the two sides. Kong Sheng raised his hands and posed a free fighting posture. At the same time, his body suddenly glowed with a layer of silver-gray light. The skin around him seemed to have turned into steel. Kong Sheng, a reinforcement ability user, had the ability Forged Steel, which could turn his body into steel-like solid, and both defense and attack power were extremely strong. Uncle Yu watched this scene from a distance and couldn't help but say, "The kid from Jiangnan district is going to suffer. The ability of the surname Chen is very strange, and it is very restrained in close combat." He suffered a loss at the hands of Chen Jingguan. If there were no helpers beside him, he might have been strangled to death by Chen Jingguan, so he still has lingering fears about Chen Jingguan. Liang Wei took a look at Kong Sheng's opening move and said, "But the opponent is also a master. You can see it from his breathing and movements. No one knows what the result will be. There is no absolute strength or weakness in the battle between mutants. It depends on the ability to respond to the enemy on the spot." Chen Jingguan held his breath and waved to Kong Sheng. That meant to let Kong Sheng go first. Kong Sheng sneered. Even though he knew that the person who attacked first was most likely to reveal flaws, he was still fearless. The next moment, he rushed towards Chen Jingguan like a whirlwind. Everyone's eyes blurred. Kong Sheng did not rush towards Chen Jingguan from the front, but appeared behind Chen Jingguan in a flash. The speed was so fast that many people didn't see clearly how he did it. A whip kick hit Chen Jingguan's back fiercely. Kong Sheng's speed was too fast, and Chen Jingguan couldn't defend it at all, but Kong Sheng also held back and didn't aim at the back of his head. Otherwise, if the kick was strong, it could directly blow up his head. However, when Kong Sheng's whip kick hit Chen Jingguan's body, he didn't feel the strong touch. Chen Jingguan's body sank in as if he had no bones. Kong Sheng frowned, and a look of surprise appeared in his eyes. The next moment, Chen Jingguan's body twisted and directly wrapped around his right leg. Without giving Kong Sheng a chance to withdraw, Chen Jingguan was like a maggot on the tarsal bone and directly wrapped around his thigh. After a while, Chen Jingguan tied Kong Sheng up tightly. He looked like a huge human snake, and his twisted body wrapped around Kong Sheng 5 or 6 times. It was hard to imagine that it was a human body. Seeing this, Kong Sheng immediately began to exert his strength to break free from Chen Jingguan's restraints. However, no matter how hard he exerted his strength, the strength he exerted on Chen Jingguan was quickly dissolved. And every time he struggled, Chen Jingguan shrank tighter. The steel body was tightly bound and crushed, making a sound that made people's teeth ache. Don't struggle. If you keep going like this, I'm afraid I'll accidentally crush your bones. Chen Jingguan's head went around to Kong Sheng and said with a smile, "No matter how strong you are, as long as you are entangled by me, you can't escape." "You'd better admit defeat," Kong Sheng sneered. His right hand was put together, turning into an indestructible sword, cutting towards Chen Jingguan's torso. However, even a hand knife comparable to steel had no effect on Chen Jingguan, who was sticky and slippery. In addition to cutting his clothes to pieces and revealing his slippery body inside, there was no other effect. "I've told you, anyone from the reinforcement department will have no choice but to surrender when they meet me. If you don't behave, I'll break your bones." Chen Jingguan laughed. "So what if we're mutants from the Jiangnan region? Don't underestimate us." Kong Sheng was tied up tightly, unable to move his hands and feet. Facing such a tough opponent, the onlookers almost all believed that he was powerless to fight back. Uncle Yu couldn't help swallowing his saliva. Recalling his own personal experience, he shook his head and said, "The winner is decided." But at this moment, Kong Sheng, who was tied up tightly, suddenly turned his head and opened his mouth towards Chen Jingguan's head. A sharp dagger came out of his mouth and accurately hit Chen Jingguan's left eye. Blood splattered. Chen Jingguan howled in pain. Due to the severe pain, he could no longer maintain his restraint on Kong Sheng. Kong Sheng suddenly increased his strength and bounced Chen Jingguan away. Chen Jingguan stood firm on the ground, enduring the severe pain, and looked at Kong Sheng with his other eye full of resentment. Kong Sheng laughed. "I thought your eyeballs could also turn into rubber." He licked his lips and saw a trace of blood on the tip of his tongue. But Kong Sheng did not spit it out, but swallowed it. It turned out that the dagger that just came out of his mouth was his tongue. Uncle Yu couldn't help but say in surprise, "He can even strengthen his tongue, turning it into a dagger to pierce Chen Jingguan's eyeball." The change in the situation on the battlefield surprised everyone. Originally, they thought Chen Jingguan was sure to win, but no one expected such a reversal. Chen Jingguan covered his injured right eye, gritted his teeth, and asked unwillingly, "How do you know where my weakness is?" Kong Sheng laughed and said, "Your body can turn into rubber, but if your eyes also change, then wouldn't you become blind?" The reason why the eyes can see things is that they can receive light sources and then transmit them to the retina nerves. But once Chen Jingguan's eyes are also deformed, the light will be distorted and naturally become the same as a blind person. Therefore, Kong Sheng judged that Chen Jingguan's weakness is in his eyes. This time, he guessed right. "Go and heal your wounds. If you are late, you will die," Kong Sheng said to Chen Jingguan with a big laugh. In such a cold environment, getting injured is not a trivial matter. Although Chen Jingguan was unwilling to lose, he felt that he should be more careful next time and not expose his weaknesses to Kong Sheng. He must be the winner. But now losing is losing. It can even be said that if Kong Sheng had not shown mercy, he could easily kill him at this time. Chen Jingguan looked gloomy and hurried back to the car, using medicine to stop the bleeding and bandage himself. The battle ended quickly, and the investigation team won cleanly and beautifully, without any drag. Kong Sheng killed Chen Jingguan in less than a minute. Such strength made everyone present look solemn. After Kong Sheng defeated Chen Jingguan, he said to the people watching the excitement around him with some reluctance, "If anyone thinks he has the strength, you can come and fight with me now." Everyone understood that Kong Sheng and others were trying to establish their authority. However, seeing that Chen Jingguan was easily killed, others certainly didn't want to be the first to come out. Seeing that no one was fighting, Kong Sheng shrugged his shoulders in boredom, then turned around and walked back lazily. In the meeting room on the second floor, Wei Dinghai heard Chen Jingguan's screams from outside, and his face looked a little ugly. But now he couldn't go over to check the situation, because Bian Junwu and the leaders of several major forces were discussing the next battle plan. Each family told their understanding of the zombie group and the rat group. In this way, the intelligence of each family was exchanged. Except that Zhang Yi concealed his method of eliminating the zombie group and the rat group, everyone had almost no reservations about other intelligence. After all, on the issue of eliminating zombies, everyone's interests are the same. Only by eliminating the rat group can Tianhai City be saved. Otherwise, Jinling will press a button lightly, and the god of death of love will make Tianhai City completely disappear from the map. No one can afford this price. After exchanging intelligence, Bian Junwu placed his hands on the table and began to issue combat instructions. "Very good. I have listened to the intelligence provided by each of you. Combined with the intelligence we have, I already know what to do next." Everyone's eyes flickered, and they were quite expectant. The intelligence system possessed by the Jiangnan region must be far beyond their reach. However, they were very curious about how much intelligence the regional headquarters in Jinling had on Tianhai City. Bian Junwu spoke in a serious tone. "According to our investigation, zombies like to attack crowded places. The more people there are, the more zombies are attracted. And the rat swarm and the corpse swarm are in a companion relationship, and they always follow the corpse swarm. So as long as the corpse swarm can be solved, the problem of the rat swarm will not be difficult to solve. And according to the intelligence, the corpse swarm shows a certain regularity in its actions, and it can almost be concluded that there is a corpse king behind it directing it. Of course, corpse king is just a code name. It may be a powerful zombie or it may be a mutant.